everybody! Today is the next update in my monthly series of the movies that I saw at home. Most of my time was spent reviewing my animated Oscar series, and so I'm not counting those since I already reviewed them on this list, but I had a few that I saw. First one is Aloha, and this was released I think in June, and it got panned by the critics, and I was surprised because from the trailers were very appealing. It has Emma Stone, Bradley Cooper, Bill Murray, just great cast, Cameron Crowe, who's done great things. And so I definitely wanted to see it. And boy, they were right. This movie is so messed up. It's edited so badly. I've never seen anything like it. I can't even explain to you the fact that people will be having conversations and they will give responses that seem from another conversation. It's like everyone in the film is talking to themselves. And the characters are really, really cliched, and Emma Stone's supposed to be Japanese, I think, and it's really weird, and it takes a lot for me to not like a movie that's set in Hawaii. Hawaii's my safe place. It's my favorite place in the whole world. And that's the only reason to see this movie, is because Hawaii is very pretty. The movie I saw also wasn't very good. It's called Little Boy. And this is a Christian film directed or produced by Mark Burnett of Survivor fame. Of course, I love Survivor. And he also did the Bible and other things. And I thought that it looked pretty good from the trailers and stuff, and I never really believe most reviews on Christian films because I feel like the critics are very harsh on that. But this one, they were right. It's very ooey gooey and sweet, and the little boy is just not very good, and he's kind of annoying. And so it makes the film not very good about him, and he's got this faith that his father will come home, and he starts to kind of have magical things happen because of his faith. And I don't really like it when Christian movies make faith and Jesus sort of a superpower. I don't really like that. They totally do that here. This film is also very right out of a Norman Rockwell painting, and not really in an appealing way. And it's just kind of boring. That doesn't really go anywhere. I don't recommend it. There's lots of better Christian films out there. The next movie I saw is Batman vs. Robin, and this was direct-to-DVD release from Warner Brothers, and it's part of their animated Batman cinematic universe, whatever. And I thought that this was a really good movie. This is the only other animated Batman film that I had seen is Batman Mask of the Phantasm, which is my favorite Batman film. And so this was a really pleasant surprise. I thought that the story was very creative. I thought that Talon was a really good villain. I liked having both Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne. I thought that that was a really interesting dynamic of sort of these two characters that had been nurtured by Bruce Wayne, by Batman. And I thought that the vocal performances were all really strong, and I thought it was animated really nice. And I'm surprised, honestly, with the superhero climate that it is, that these films can't get a theatrical release. It's surprising to me. I would think that that with Batman being especially as big as it is, that they could get a theatrical release for him. But I think it's really good. A lot of people see, oh, it's direct to DVD, that means it's terrible. In this case, it's really not. It's quite a good movie. The next film that I saw at home is called The Way, Way Back, and this movie stars Toni Collette and Steve Carell and a whole bunch of other people. And I thought Allison Janney's in it, who I love her. And I really liked this film. I thought this film was charming and funny and heartfelt. Sam Rockwell's in it. He's great. And it's just about this kid. His mother is dating this jerk, played by Steve Carell. Really different performance for him. And he is at this boyfriend's summer house, and he finds his home at this water park. And he finds some understanding and some love and whatever. And I think that that's really cool. I just really like that you can find a home in almost anywhere. And there's good people out there. And so, yeah, it was really good. I thought the dialogue was really well written. I thought it was really well shot. So if you get a chance to see it, I highly recommend The Way, Way Back. Although I kept thinking about with that title, I kept thinking of Mr. Peabody and Sherman, because there's the Way Back is the name of the the time machine. The Way Back. You used the Way Back. Okay, so the next film that I saw is the animated shorts collection from Walt Disney. I've been meaning to do a review on it. I just haven't had time, but it's fabulous. Check it out. It's so good. It's got some that I hadn't seen before, and it's got little introductions from the creators before every single one. And it's got everything from, it's got Feast in there, it's got Frozen Fever, it's got John Henry, it's just really good variety, and I highly recommend it. I think my nieces loved it, so I think kids will really love it. Check out the animated shorts collection. The last film that I saw in September is The Beasts of the Southern Wild, and this was the film that I think it got nominated for Best Picture, and it got Quinzanea Wallace as nominated for Best Actress. And you totally see why she was given that nomination, or maybe supporting actress, I can't remember. But you see why. Like, she's really strong in the film, and it's a film that's really beautiful, and it's definitely like some magical realism is part of it that you kind of have to accept. And I really did enjoy it. I thought it was a good film. It's not my favorite movie. My sister, it's her favorite film. It's not my favorite film because I felt like it sort of engaged in certain tropes. Kind of, in a weird way, engages in some of the same tropes that Song of the South did. Of the, the mystical black person, who has sort of all the answers and tells all these stories and stuff. It's really not that different than Song of the South, which is really weird when you think about it. I mean, it's way better, I'm just saying, in that one regard, as far as that trope that's used is still kind of used today. And I also thought sort of the idea of sort of the noble savage is definitely a huge trope in this film. The idea that, like, these poor people that live in the bathtub in Louisiana, that they, like, know more than these doctors and know more than, these other people. And I just think that that's kind of ridiculous. And I thought that the dad was so unlikable, and it was hard for me to root for him as a character. I thought that he's pretty abusive, and it was just hard because I felt like this situation was actually really, really sad, and the movie was trying to get me to feel like it was magical. And so I didn't really like that, but it's really good. Like, the performances are good. It's beautifully shot, and I did like the magical realism qualities to it, and it's very unique and an original idea. So I recommend seeing it, definitely, but I did have, keeping it from being a top tier film for me is some of those concerns about the tropes. So there you go. Let me know what you think of any of these films. If you got to see them, please put your comments, and thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to you later. Bye.